Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Anime Club. This week we watched Demon Slayer, episode 14 through 26, the Spider Mountain arc.
Yeah. Seki hates spiders.
But she thinks these ones are absolutely hot for some reason.
Not all of them, and
Not
I don't hate spiders. I'm arachnophobic. I have an unnatural and not logical fear of them.
Yeah.
So, getting into our just quick initial thoughts here, try to keep them spoiler free. Let's start with Vorn, since I think Vorn is going to be the odd one out.
Not my cup of tea. Still good, but not my cup of tea.
That's about what I expected.
Yeah.
But what does that translate to in terms of a rating?
I'll give it approved, just not a good approval, but approval nonetheless.
Alright.
Alright. Let's go Realm, then.
I mean, I was already approved on this. I had watched this, long ago, so I already knew what my opinions would be on this one. So, I mean, still approved for me. I enjoyed this arc. It was a bit longer the first time for me, but this second watch through didn't feel as long of an arc, so...
I'll go ahead and go next, since since Realm and I both have the very predictable opinions because we've seen this arc before. Yeah, and we said it in the preview. I definitely approve of this. I think this arc's where the show starts to come into its own as far as its pacing goes. It's got the most. You start to get a better idea of where the story is actually going in terms of direction. All right, Seki, you're the question mark at the moment, I think.
Look, I mean, it's gonna get an approved because I didn't hate it, but I will say I don't enjoy the pacing of this set of episodes compared to the first set, and I am not enjoying the main cast at all.
Really?
I'm not enjoying What's-His-Face or Inosuke or
Zenitsu.
Tanjiro, Zenosuke, and Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. That's it. I'm not really enjoying them comparatively. When you look at the rest of the cast of characters we have for this set of episodes, I felt, honestly, that the villains and background characters shined much, much brighter and were far more tolerable to watch. In fact, there were several times I just had to stop and walk away for an hour after watching a Zenitsu or Inosuke moment and just going, this is so fucking stupid. This actually makes me want to pull my hair out.
Zenitsu, I can kind of understand that sentiment with. I had pretty similar sentiments with him, kind of before this arc with him, where I kind of got more of his kind of character development, at least his backstory. He's still an absolutely pitiful character, but there's at least some understanding I have behind the...
Hi, kitty.
Hi.
Anyways, so it's getting an approval based on the fact that I really like the first set of episodes, and I do like the villains and the supporting characters. And on the whole, I think it was a good season. But wow, is this Spider Mountain arc long for a one-season shonen these days. They spent a long time on this spider thing, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I like long shonens.
Yeah.
It's just I wasn't expecting it in such a short season for them to dedicate so much to a single arc. I like the opening though, same as before, because the opening and ending don't change. I liked them both. Animation is still chef's kiss, A+, fantastic.
UFO table out there doing their best.
Yeah.
God's work.
Yeah, honestly, this is some A-tier animation, and I really did like the music. So it's an approved, but I don't know. I kind of...
Wait, did you just say you liked the music?
Yeah? What?
Last time that was a fight we got into is whether or not the music was at all memorable.
Oh, yeah, but now I've heard it so many times it's kind of stuck in my head. Also, I did let the opening and ED play through every episode this time, so, it was very familiar to me by the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's an approved from me.
I think that throws it into the A tier then, from where it was previously in B tier, because
Yeah.
it ranked up on Vorn's scale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I'm curious, what did it do? Like, obviously it's still not your cup of tea, but what did it do differently here that raised it to an approved for you?
Well, hang on, though. I think his complaint in the first set of 14 episodes was that the training took too long to develop, right? Like, you thought that the training arc took too long? There's not really a training arc in here, so maybe...
Besides, like, toward the end.
Yeah, and even that was pretty short.
Yeah, that was like kind of like the last like 3-4 episodes or whatever. So
Yeah. I am blessed.
yes, blessed with Kitty.
And we also got a lot more of the joke characters.
So you like the fact that some of the characters was a little bit more lighthearted.
Slightly, but also, that's also a complaint as well. It's weird. I'll explain a bit later.
Oh, okay.
And I know, Nick Nack, you mentioned that last night you kind of just went on and binged season 2. You've seen the movie, right? Mugen Train?
Yeah, so...
Is that the name of the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I started season... So I was finishing up season 1. I paced myself as I normally do, watching just over the course of the 2 weeks we give ourselves to watch these. And just... I hit the last 3 episodes, like, okay, I'm going to have to binge these because I'm not going to have enough free days to finish this if I watch 1 episode a day. So I binged it. And then I binged the entire Mugen Train TV adaptation of the movie. And then I watched the first episode of season 2. And 1 day later, I'm done with season 2.
I honestly approve. That is glorious. I think that's a very me thing to do, to be honest. Just
I
keep
do it from
watching.
time to time.
But I do know, also, I will say, biggest disappointment of the Crunchyroll Awards was putting the Demon Slayer movie up for so many of them in the anime category.
It didn't deserve to be in the TV anime category. It's all reused footage from the movie.
Yeah.
It's literally just the movie broken up into like 3 episodes.
But I think that's something we can complain about another day.
Yeah. We're reviewing season 1 here. We're not including the movie.
Yeah, so basically we finished season 1 now. So on the whole, how do we all feel? I've already said that for me, all 26 episodes do get an approval, and I sang the praises of the first 14 episodes because honestly, I really liked the pacing of the first 14 episodes, and the Training Mountain arc was my absolute favorite. So what about you guys for the whole season 1?
I really like season 1 just as a whole. I think if I had any criticism, like if I'm going to sit back and sit in my armchair and sip some tea to criticize this here, I think I don't mind that it finished on a longer arc, because this is definitely a more important arc for the characters than the previous ones. But it didn't finish on the longer arc. It then finished on a fairly short arc, a training arc, which is a little bit weird as far as the seasonal pacing goes. That said, speaking from hindsight, they've made it very clear they're not adapting it under a normal seasonal structure. It was just this first season that they did that way. So it's a little bit easier for me to digest in hindsight, but I do remember being like, why is it a training arc that's the last 3 episodes that we're watching here? It should have ended in the episode before that.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I barely have any complaints. If I had to nitpick something, it would just be that at least the first time I watched this through, I also was not the greatest fan of Zenitsu, and to some extent Inosuke, but after a rewatch through, they've honestly grown on me now, more so as characters, so I don't I wouldn't say I despised them before, but I don't like hate their dynamic as much anymore. I actually appreciate their dynamic more now. So
I'm sure we can discuss more in detail the dynamic, because it's...
yeah, we can
When we
save that for
talk
characters.
about
Yeah.
We can save that for characters,
Yeah.
but that was just like my one thing, my one piece before we move on.
Yeah. Vorn?
For me, if I wasn't in a stubborn spree, I would have shut this down probably within like the first 6 episodes, maybe in the first 3. Most definitely. If I was, I would have given this thing more of a meh, because I would have been just so sick and done with it toward the end. So yeah.
Alright.
Moving on to spoiler-free thoughts. We'll see you next time. Try harder, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe.